Welcome back, Splunk enthusiasts. This video is brought to you by Lame Creations, log analysis made easy, where we help you master the tools and techniques to become a Splunk pro. Do you have data you need to get into your Splunk instance and it's a little overwhelming to work with all the props, the transforms, the inputs, and everything, and you're just struggling to get it all put together? Well, Splunk has the app for you. It's an app to build an app, and we're going to demo that next. Splunk has built an app that will help you collect all of the essential files for building an application, test it, trial and error, make sure everything's working right, and get your stuff going. And it makes things a lot easier if you're going to be trying to combine all your props, transforms, get everything SIM compliant. You can do it in this Splunk Add-on Builder, put it on a dev instance, and then when everything's ready, move it to production. You got yourself a good, ready to go TA. You're going to go into Splunk Base, download it, or you can just download it directly on a dev instance. Do not put this on production. So I've got it here. I'm going to come in here, lame. We're going to get Splunk Add-on Builder. And in order to make this work, I've also created 3 sample files. I have a CSV, an XML, and a JSON file to help make this work. We go into the App Add-on Builder, and we're greeted with this ability to build a new add-on. So we'll go ahead and hit this green button. We're going to give it a name. We're going to call it Lame YouTube Author App for Demoing on YouTube. We can choose to make this visible or upload an icon. We're not going to go there. We'll just hit create. And then we have the option to configure data collection and some other things here. I'm going to briefly demo configure data collection, but we aren't going to go in and actually use it. If I use configure data collection, I hit new input. This is where you can put a REST API, scripted input like Shell and Python. And it's got a really nice little interface here. You give it some names, you follow through with data input parameters and other components. It's got a lot of features there, totally out of the scope of this. Just wanted to let you know if you need to put in a scripted input, that's where you're going to go, is this configure data collection. I also want you to notice that this interface has changed. These are all the things for my lame YouTube app. If I come back here and I hit Splunk Add-on Builder, it's going to list all the apps that I'm building. So if I want to come back in after I work on it a little bit and I want to come back, I can just come in here, go to Splunk Add-on Builder, and then just click on the little card and it'll load you in. So we've talked configure data collection. We're going to go manage source types. From the manage source types, you have options to do this manually, and you can go make a new source type, and you can upload your data. Like I'm going to go grab this con CSV and I'm going to put it in there. But unfortunately, it doesn't know quite what to do with it. So you're going to need to know all the event breakers, the timestamp, stuff like that. You can add your features in here, remove them, and get everything set up. I don't spend all my time doing data input, so I do not have these things memorized. I have an easier way of handling that, and that is through settings, add data. I'm going to go through the old-fashioned way. I'm going to build a source type using Splunk, and then I'll import it. So the very same thing, I'm going to come to this con CSV, load it up. It automatically detected, oh, you're a CSV, and now all my fields are split out. So that's good. I can go timestamp. I use the current timestamp. That takes care of that error. If I want to do any sort of delimited settings, I can do stuff like that. I'm good with that. And there's the advanced settings. I don't have to remember them all because Splunk takes care of it. So I'll just hit save as, and I'm going to call this Lame YouTube CSV. I'll keep it as structured. I'm going to save it in the search and reporting app. Hit save. Go to next. Choose the index I want to put it in. We'll put it in main. I can give it a name such as lame YouTube. That'll be the host field. I hit review. We can see that it's going to use this con CSV file. It's going to be the source type lame YouTube CSV host, and hit submit. Now I can come over here to Add-on Builder. I'm going to leave this, come back to manage source types. And instead of adding a new one, I'm going to import from Splunk. I got to give this a second. This doesn't load immediately. Now I've got it, and I can hit lame YouTube CSV. I can upload data. And there we go. If I wanted to, I should come in here and I should make all of these fields match. And they're pretty much matching. So we can all, if we need to tweak them, you've got them. I'm going to hit save. And one of the things you're going to notice is going to say, hey, this source type exists in the add-on search. You want to import it over to your add-on. If you do that, it will no longer exist in search. I'm totally good with that. I actually want that add-on information, those props and transforms, to come over to this app. So I'll hit continue and it's going to migrate them over. And now when I look at this, I've got a new source type. But we notice that it's unparsed data. So we'll need to edit that. We'll do that with the extract fields. But let's get our other data sources in. I'm going to come in here and do a add data. I forgot to clear it out. I noticed it while I was doing this. My JSON file when I was demoing this to make sure it would work so I could do the video. I already have that source type in there, so I'm going to give it a little different name. What I mean by that is if I go here, I can actually find lame YouTube. It was already there. So I'm going to give it a new name. We'll give it a name, something a little different than this. We'll call it just lame JSON. Put it in the search and reporting app. Hit save. We forgot to do the current timestamp. We're good there. Okay. Next. Save. Yep, save. Overwrites it. Pick the index. Main. Give it lame. And we're done. I can come over here, refresh this page. I just want to make sure that everything's there, so I like to do refreshes. Probably not required, but it just makes me feel better. I do add, import from Splunk. Let's go ahead and grab my JSON file. And then we're going to go grab lame JSON. Everything's nice and checked now. We don't have any of these errors. We're good to go. I'm going to hit save. Yes, I'm good with you importing it over. Now, if I come in here to this lame JSON, we notice again, unparsed data, unparsed data. So let's go get it parsed. We'll go ahead and hit this extract fields. If we don't do this, I'm going to show you what happens. If I don't do it, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I'm going to take this lame YouTube CSV. I'm going to come over here to map to data models. Do you want your data to have the right names, alias, and everything to a data model? It's got that capability. So we're going to come in here, map to data models. I'm going to make a new data model mapping. I'm going to want an event type, so I'm going to call it lame CSV. What source type do I want to use? I'm going to use the lame YouTube CSV. So it's going to write me my Splunk query. I could even go here and say index equals main. However I want to do it. So here's the search. It's building you an event type. And then it's going to search that data for that. So I hit save. CSVs were good. It worked. I didn't need to do any field extraction. So we can just come straight in here and start mapping them together. If they don't match, if you're missing fields over here, you'll have to do data extraction. So let's go ahead and edit these. I'm going to do a new knowledge object. I can make a field alias or an eval. This all comes back to, have you done data modeling? If you haven't, I advise you to watch my video on data modeling. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select a data model. And the data model I'm going to use is the Splunk SA SIM. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go grab network traffic. All traffic. And here's all the SIM fields. I'm good with that. I'll hit select. And then I make a new object type. I'm going to do a field alias. It's going to grab the lame YouTube CSV source type. It says do a field alias, enter the name, destination IP. That is not a SIM field, but the SIM field is dest IP. So I do that. I hit OK. It's going to do that aliasing for me now. Now I'm going to come over here, and I've got the dest IP, and notice it's green. Green is kind of indication that it's been aliased in there. I'm going to do a new one. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go field alias. I'm going to do source IP. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the equivalent, which is source underscore IP. Hit OK. Now I got that. Let's go get the ports in there as well. I'm not going to do all my fields. We got source port and the equivalent. Source port. Hit OK. And then we need one more, which is dest port. Do a search real quick. There it is. Hit OK. And so now I've got 4 fields done that way. I'd also have the bytes in, bytes out, but I'm not going to take my time to go through that. I hit done. And now I have this CSV coming in data model compliant. We'll do a new one here. Let's go grab, we'll call it lame JSON. Leave that alone, hit save. And it's got the same fields. If it didn't, I can come back. I'm not gonna finish this. So we're gonna go back to we'll just hit delete this out. I'm gonna come into this extract fields, just show you how you can do it. We can come to this lame JSON and I can hit assisted extraction. And if your file is already a key value JSON or XML or table, it will automatically parse out those fields for you. I'm going to go hit JSON. I like how it's doing it. I hit save. It says I'm going to overwrite some of your stuff. You okay with that? I am. And now we'll see in the field extraction, it's no longer unparsed data. It is now JSON formatted. I can actually come in here and I can do a manual extraction, which then I would be writing regex statements to parse that stuff. I have an XML file and I'm going to throw up my hands and say, you know what? I can't make this one work. And the reason being, I'll walk you through it real quick, but I just don't get it to parse correctly. I can get it to line break, but I don't know how to do it without doing regex extraction. I don't want to do that. And so while yes, you can ingest, I'll go in here, we'll do a new one. Add data, upload. Go with that one, sure. Do a timestamp as current. Then advanced, line breaker. Set the fields, UTF-8. And then I could set in mandatory line break, and I could actually go grab the action and put it all in there. And what is that line? Bring up my little cheat sheet. Need a line breaker field. Run that, apply the settings. It now puts them together. I can do another setting with must break after. Then we end up copying and pasting that because I don't want to write it. I'm going to apply those settings and it's all good, but then I need to do some regex on the source IP and pull those out. I've got my events broken, but you're going to have to go through that. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. I can go through that, add them all in. But I'm going to make my shameless pitch. I can throw this into Cribble and the JSON just automatically, the XML just automatically gets cleaned up. I don't even have to deal with it. That's why I don't memorize this stuff. I use Cribble. I'm showing you how to do it if you don't have Cribble, but XML's a pain. Sorry. JSON, CSV, really easy. So that's what I'm going to do here. XML, if you want to show me how to do it, I'm cool with that, but I'm not going to spend my time parsing that out. I'm going to use a tool like Cribble to just take care of it for me. Anyway, so I've got that done. I've mapped my data alerts, my data models. I can do some alert actions, so I could build an alert if I want to. I'm just going to leave that alone. And then I can validate and package. And so I can choose, do I want to follow the best practice, data model, mapping, find, extraction, app pre-certification? I actually don't care about the pre-certification because I'm not going to have it go up onto Splunk base. I'm going to hit validate. So I can come back here and we can see that I pretty much passed all the health checks. It says I did a pretty decent job building this TA. It says, please don't put underscores in your source type. Like I have here, lame YouTube CSV. They don't like that. Okay, I could change that. And then the warning data map. Basically, they want me to put more fields in there and get those things extracted better. Whatever. They're warnings. They're not too big a deal. So I'm in pretty good shape. I passed all the other tests. And if I want to, then I can just hit this download package and it will actually build me a nice SPL file. And I can then go carry that SPL file over to my server, put it on a deployment server, load it up manually, whatever I need to do. And away I go. I've got Splunk app built with all the appropriate pieces that I need. Let's go ahead and jump into the command line and actually see this. What does this app look like? If I come in here, I got my TA lame YouTube. We can see that most likely they're nano props. We can see there is my lame YouTube CSV props file, my lame JSON props file with everything I needed there. I can do a nano any of the tags. There's a tag sitting there. Nano the event types. Now, the only thing this didn't build for me, you'd think they'd have that. I may have missed it. I thought at one time they had it, but there is no inputs. So that's unfortunate. As far as the inputs for monitoring a file, what I would recommend is, again, come to your add data. And when you're doing that, instead of doing the add data this route, go back. Instead, I would do a monitor. I'd build my stanzas here, and then I'd build it in search and reporting, whatever. Or I can add it right now to this TA. So I can come in, once I've got the TA going, I could come into my app and put it in there. But basically, I would just grab it. It's unfortunate, don't have much I can do about it. And I would build the inputs and then copy them into here. So that is the one thing I haven't seen that I can do, is to put the YouTube, have this YouTube TA have an inputs.conf file with file monitoring. Thanks for tuning in to Lame Creations, log analysis made easy. If you found today's video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on the latest tips, tools, and tutorials to boost your log analysis skills. Want to take it a step further? Become a member to support the channel and gain exclusive early access to videos and exclusive focused training. Join us on Discord where we dive even deeper, share insights, and tackle questions together. Until next time, from Lame Creations, where we help you go from being a lame analyst to a Splunk ninja.